Genetic Demon, and this is What's on the Tape, Season 14, Volume 7, and this week I've got 3 tapes. I have 3 tapes from Mel LaBelle, as you'll see him in the comments, and I'm going to call these tapes Satan's tapes. I think he got them personally from Satan. They're maybe a little bit crispy around the edges, so he sent me these 3, and he said, I wonder if you'll have any better luck than I've had with them, so this really bodes well for this episode. So let's start with what we can see on Satan's tapes. And first thing I'm going to say is that this one ain't going to happen, because that's the pad that's used to keep the tape stable and push it against the inside. And inside, we've got left, if you can see it, at an angle there, we've got a nasty bit of metal. So that one there, the first one of Satan's tapes, that's that one was side A and B. That ain't happening. So that's Satan's tape out the way 1. So we got rid of one Satan's tapes. Then we've got these next ones, which have been overwritten from... I don't even know what underneath that is. Don't know what game that was underneath. I can't read it. My eyesight's bad. There was a game underneath anyway, so it's been overwritten with something else. So something else is on that tape. So I don't know what it is, but there's something else on that tape. And this one has text you can't read at all, so that's been overwritten as well. So yeah, Satan's tapes is probably going to be these ones. I would have said 666 if we'd done that like that, but no, it's now just 66. So we got 66, Order 66, the end of the Jedi. And we would call it the end of the Jedi, Order 66, maybe the name of this video. But anyway, so we've got those. But I also want to show you what I got sent through the post by my good friend Daryl. And Daryl sent me, because I said I like compilations because they're good value for money when you're a kid and pocket money wise. So he sent me that one, which is obviously 20 games, game set and match, Ocean 20 games. It literally is whatever. Well, it's just loads of games. It's Hypersports, pool, ping pong, Daley Thompson's, Super Test, all kinds of stuff. Lots and lots of good stuff. So he sent me that, but then he wasn't done. He sent me this one as well. This is the Battle Stations one, which has Operation Wolf and Typhoon and Gorilla on it, which is quite an expensive game. I got that one recently. And then he sent me this one as well, because he wasn't quite done. So he sent me the Champions one, which has Super Sprint, Renegade, Rampage, IK Plus, and of course Barbarian, all of which are superb games. But he wasn't quite done. So he sent another one, which was in the in crowd, which has Karnoff and Gryzor and Barbarian again, Crazy Cars, Predator, Platoon, Target Renegade, and Combat Skull, but that wasn't enough for Daryl. No, he sent me another one, which is the Karate Pack, which I quite like the idea of, actually. Exploding Fist, Bruce Lee, Kung Fu Master, Avenger, I'm just shaking the camera, apologies, Samurai Trilogy, this one, which I'm sure is Uchi Mata, which is basically judo, and then Way of this, I've got such a big pile, I'm moving the blooming camera around. Anyway, and then it wasn't done because I needed another one game set and match, so he sent me that one as well. So that's all got loads of driving games in it, and baseball games and all kinds of things. And then just to finish off, because he needed to finish me off, he finished me off with the special action, which sounds really rude, but it was what he finished me off with a bit of special action. So he did that. But so what I'm going to say here is, I think, hang on, going right back to the beginning. Oh. What we might do, I mind you saying that, I was going to do this one, but then I remembered this one. Look, there's our backup for this week, alright? That's our backup, because it's got some classics on here. Way of the Exploding Fist, it's always a classic. Bruce Lee's brilliant. Kung Fu Master, nobody likes but except for me. Avenger, and then Samurai Trilogy. I mean, that's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. That can't beat that. So if these guys, the Order 66, don't work, we're going to have that one. Alright, so here we go anyway. Brace yourselves. I'm going to get these. I'm going to get the Order 66 into a tape drive. Okay, the tape is in the drive, so we'll go down to our favourite, we'll go down to basic, and then we'll do load dit or load speech marks, and we'll see whether or not the first of Satan's tapes work. I should stop calling it Satan's tapes. No, it's not true. Just the number of them and the fact that yeah, exactly. Anyway, but thanks very much, Mel. We'll see whether these load or not. I've prepped for this. I've prepped for this one. I've cleaned the tape drives. I've used something that's abrasive and I've used something that's not abrasive, and I've prepped. So Fingers crossed it works. Oh, right. Oh, cool. Right, Armageddon. And that needs to load code. So let's rewind that. Let's break this. Push break and let's do load code. Load code. Now, isn't this an ocean game? If I remember rightly, this is an ocean game. I think it is. I think. He says, sort of ambiguously, sort of suggesting that it might be an ocean game. I think it is. I'm looking behind me on the shelf. I'm trying to work out whether or not it's behind me. No, I can't quite see it. It might be there. Well, at least we've got a title. I have got the other tape drive handy though, so we'll give it a go in the other tape drive and see whether or not we get that to work a bit better than that. So load code and that one, Armageddon. Push the play on there. Push the play on here. Come on, let's see if we can get it to load. So I can achieve the impossible. At least know it's Armageddon. That's a good start though. So I mean that means we can actually load this one. So we might Karate Aces might actually have to wait. Oh, that's better looking. Oh no, it's not. He lies. Let's see. Change that tone a little bit. See if we get the right level of tone. I can hear by the sound. Funnily enough. You can do doosh, and there's a drop in tone. Can you hear it? I think you can. If you're a regular sort of Spectrum user of things, you can hear that tone drop. There's a sort of a dulling after the and it's like it drops off. It drops off. You can hear it. Now, see that? Got the title. I'm not happy with that because that's not picking it up. That's not picking up. Press break, right? Okay, so let's do new. Let's do load dit again because I think it's kind of got the title already and it's kind of expecting something else. So let's just give that a try. Give that a try. Come on. Oh, we got it first time round, which is bizarre. It's bizarre to get it first time round and not get it again. There we go. Oh, wow. Oh, brace yourselves. As I say, Mel sent this to me. The conversation went along the lines of, I've got 3 tapes that don't work like that. Do you want to give them a go? Yeah, why not? I'm a glutton for punishment. So's my audience. We love this. This is the kind of stuff we love. We absolutely love a bit of failure. Who wants things to win? You know, we want to see it. We want to see it stop and crash and burn. That's what we want. No, that's not true. We actually like random things from the 80s that just turn up out of nowhere. Right, that's not doing it again. Let's give it another try. I'm going to try it in the tape deck in a minute. No, right. I'm going to change it back to the other tape deck. I'm going to give it another blast, and then I'm going to find it on PlayZX, and we'll see whether or not we can actually get this to work up on PlayZX. Do you know something though? I kind of like that because we got a title, which is good. It was better than I was expecting. I kind of half expected it. I think Mel said in his comments that he'd half got a title out of one of them previously. So I kind of like that. I kind of like the fact that we got a title out of it. No. I can hear it. There's a sound involved in this that I can hear, and I can hear it not making it sort of. There's a dullness to it that's just strange. It's maybe the age of the tape. You know, I've got to remember these things are very, very old. They get stretched. They're kept not properly kept. All this kind of stuff. So it's not brilliant. So that's the nature of sort of the ZX Spectrum things. Right. Let's see if I can find for you on PlayZX. Let's see if I can find. Let's see if I can find search Armageddon. Armageddon. Silversoft. No, it's Silversoft, maybe. No, there's an Ocean one as well. 16K one. It must be that one. That's the one. Right, okay, I've got that. Let's put that in there. I did say there was an Ocean one. I wasn't far away. I think, remember slightly, there was quite a good cover for this as well, actually. Let's press the play on that. This should be a 16K game. That's a load code. It's not a load code. Should we see if it's the... Let's see if it's the... Let's stop the one that we've got. Let's see if it's the Silversoft one. Because there's a load... This has got a load... No, they're both that. Stop. There's another one on here. I'm going to try this extra one, alright? Give this one a whirl. Ready? This is Fashion Soft, this one. Now, if it does load code, or bytes, well, I'm quite interested. No, that's not the one. Right, okay, I'm going to suggest it's the Ocean one then. So let's stop this, and let's stop that tape. And let's break this, and then do the other one. It must have been an older version of it, if it's coming up with load... Mind you, to be fair, there could have been hundreds of games called Armageddon. To be honest, I'll be brutally honest. I think there could have been hundreds. So I think this is the version it is, though. I think it's most likely the Ocean version, because most likely the one that was copied everywhere. So I'm going to assume it does load bytes now. Armageddon. No, load A. Okay, it could have been the Silversoft one. There's two here that are really I think it could really be. Could it be Silversoft or it's the Ocean? It's the Ocean one. Look by the loading screen. There you go. So it's definitely the Ocean one. I can remember that from one we just did there before. So right, I've got my coffee. I hope you've got a beverage. I've got a sort of a huge mug of the stuff. I've got simply because. I think this is going to be a long one. That's a first start, and I don't mind it a bit cold. I work in an industry where I don't mind a bit of cold coffee. Occasionally go back to things and find out it's been 45 minutes since I last looked at it. But yeah, so I've got cold coffee. Oh, I've got coffee, not cold coffee, but coffee. Maybe I should drink cold coffee. Is there such a thing? Is it something like frappuccinos or something like that? Don't know, something like that. I'm sure there's a cold coffee out there. I'm sure somebody will tell me in the comments. But it's not quite as nice as my Dow Egg Butts. Not sponsored by Dow Egg Butts. I do like Dow Egg Butts. I only buy it when it's cheap, though. A bit like Star Wars figures. I only buy it when it's discounted in the supermarket. I won't buy it otherwise. I'll go without, but I'll buy something slightly different if that's the case. Oh, this is quite a good one. I quite like this game. Hang on. Oh, coffee was nice. That was nice. I needed that just to lubricate the old throat, get me ready for this first game. Right. Okay. So, what we got? The keys are AX. Oh no, Ace Fire. Hang on, these keys are weird. NM. Ace Fire. X is down. Really? What's up? S. Ah, right. Oh, okay. That makes sense now. And H is to hold. Right, so 6 for keyboard. Oh, yes. I remember this. We've played this before. So you get so many missiles. This is an arcade sort of... it's an arcade sort of... what word am I looking for here? It's an arcade sort of... Well, it's not arcade conversion. It's an arcade game copied. It's basically Missile Command. Was that actually... oh, God. Oh, the city's been blown up. So, yeah, in Missile Command, basically. Missile Command is basically the game, and you've got to protect the cities with a certain number of missiles. You get points for the number of missiles you got left at the end. As a kid, I used to throw the missiles everywhere and not realise there was actually some strategic way of dealing with these incoming nuclear strikes that you could fire missiles in a certain place, and you would sort of avoid the explosions that went with it. Let's pop one there. Not worry about those ones striking nowhere. So you can avoid the missile strikes as it goes. That one's going to hit nothing, so we're okay. We're all good. And there's our extra points. It's a good game, actually. Pretty good game. Got to admit, I'm pretty impressed, really, realistically, with Armageddon. It plays really well. It's one of the better ones. One of the better. There are plenty of Missile Command clones. Do you know what, though? Isn't it strange how the history of games works, in the sense of, the certain games that I would call almost iconic. They kind of defined a lot of things, and it's really kind of special that the games like Missile Command exist. I'm gonna shoot there, see if we can get that one. There we go. Loads of missiles.
Yeah, it's kind of iconic in how it sort of appeared and how it sort of stayed. I mean, it's like Centipede and Millipede. They're also what I would call iconic sort of games that kind of appeared. Frogger is also another. Maybe not as much so as these ones, as these original shoot 'em ups. Space Invaders, of course. Nobody even thinks of this as well. This is the funny thing. But technically, Space Invaders and this are shoot 'em ups. But we didn't call them shoot 'em ups back then. They kind of the name appeared later, and we call them Missile Command. Nobody calls them shoot 'em ups. Nobody says Missile Command. Do you remember the Missile Command shoot 'em up? That shoot 'em up where you shot things and people go Missile Command. It's almost like they stand out by themselves. So Space Invaders and Missile Command, they definitely do stand out as these kind of amazing sort of genre defining. Games. They really do. Where does Pac-Man fit in these things? Just thinking there. Oh damn, that's going to hit me. Oh, it's not. Missed me. By much of a must. Totally surprised. Oh sugar, cities are getting bombed now. I think do you get less missiles as it goes along? I don't know. Lost in the city there. There we go. Boom. I like the way the sort of little nukes appear out of them. Yeah, it's really good. 3 cities left. Lost 2 there, unfortunately. No, pretty good this. Nice sort of first choice on the whole thing. So how's your week been? Has it been busy? Mine's been busy. I'm now off for a week, so I'm going to take the opportunity, hopefully, to visit some places and do some videos and surprise you all with it. So I'm not going to give it away right now because I'm planning some exciting day trips to some exciting places that have got what I would call not necessarily video game history in some cases, but some in others. So I've got a little bit of that going on with the family. So I'm quite looking forward to that. Looking forward to that sort of little bit of time away to do that and do that and sort of enjoy that. So hopefully I will have a couple of extra videos this week. There's a couple of sort of ones that I would do if I was, I like the way that I do like the explosions on this. Simple 16K game as well. Love those 16K games. They're fantastic. I do know that Sean is a big ZX81 collector, and I sent him a few things that I didn't need from my collection to add on. Nothing very exciting, mainly financial things, but the boxes were fantastic. The cardboard boxes were in great shape, so I sent those to Mel the Bell, Sean, and yeah, he's a big sort of ZX81 collector, so I can kind of see where he appreciates games like this because it's a 16K, but as the ZX81 obviously was it 1K, and then you got the add-on pack for 16K. I remember my friend had one of those. I played it at his house. I was kind of surprised by it. It was all right, but I had a ZX Spectrum at the time, and I was like, why would you want a ZX81? I had no taste back then. I didn't realise that they were fantastic as well. But anyway, right, I'm going to quit this one. I'm going to see what else is on this tape. What's on the tape, as the name of the thing sort of suggests. So let's see what else is on this tape. See if we can fast forward this a little bit and see if there's anything else. It is a C15 tape, so there's plenty of space on here for other opportunities for other things to load. Fingers crossed. I'm going to assume there isn't anything else more exciting on there. Very quick sort of fast forwards here. Let's see what we got. There's the screen appearing. To be fair, it probably took longer for the screen to appear than the game to load. I bet you the screen loading was a good 30 seconds of the load. And considering it's only a 1 minute 20 something odd load, that kind of makes sense. I always love these videos about, children that nowadays don't understand the suffering of loading games. Yeah, they do, because they have to put them on their hard disks on the computers, and it takes ages sometimes. But they don't. But loading games sometimes on the Spectrum and quite quick. They were really quick. The quickest one I ever saw was Eric and the Floaters. It's just literally just like does the kind of thing, and that's it. It's loaded. It's literally one of the quickest loaders I've ever had to experience in my entire life. I don't think there's anything quicker than that, and I think that's a testament to the quality of programming there from Hudson Software. That was basically Eric and the Floaters was what I think I said. Eric and the Floaters, didn't I? I hope I did. If I didn't say Eric and the Floaters, I'm thinking of Eric and the Floaters as one of the quickest loading games ever, and it's literally Bomberman. It's a really quick version of Bomberman. So. Looks like the first side of one of the Order 66 is empty. It's no wonder the clone troopers didn't manage it very well. I'm going to stop beating up on stormtroopers and clone troopers, by the way. Professional army. They let them go in A New Hope, okay? They let them go. Princess Leia says it. I can't get over that, you know. All these years, we continue to persist with this thing that they can't hit anything. And they did it in Mandalorian. That was wrong. They should have showed them as precision shooters and killers. But anyway, you know, with the guns, with the shooting at that little lizard. But they honestly, stormtroopers are not to be laughed at. They can hit a target. And they certainly do in Mandalorian. They do shoot the Mandalorian an awful lot. The guy gets shot in the chest a lot. And unlike most movies where they shoot round him, the Mandalorian gets shot a lot. So it's kind of cool. I don't think we've got anything else on this side of the tape. I think we're clear. In fact, I've just fast forwarded it all the way to the end. So it's a 10-minute tape, 5 minutes each side. Let's get the second side of this tape and see what we've got on here. Quite excited now. Quite excited. Juices are flowing. You know. Maybe just coffee juices, but yeah, the juices are flowing. I'm ready for action now. What we got? Nothing. Do it again. Oh, I heard that one there. Did you hear it? There's a little bit of. Let's have a look at the tape itself. It looks pretty clean, to be honest, but I heard the little waver, which is like the tape's not good. It's either stretched or whatever else it is. If we can't get a name out of this, we ain't going to be playing this game. But I do thank Mel Bell for this. I do. I love these things. I've got to be fair, I have got quite a lot of stuff still to play. So no worries yet. But I do keep an eye on eBay and other places for it and see what I can find and what I can discover. Come on. Oh, there's that echo. It's like an echo. That's what it is. Ready for it? There, that echo at the end of it, always telling. Let's turn the volume up a titch. Let's alter the tone a tad. I just think it's age on this one. It's not going to be Azimuth related, I'm afraid. You can see there's decent lines on that. There's decent sort of sound coming through. There's decent whatever else. Nah, that's the one. There's no. No, sit here. Listen again. No. We're going to struggle with that one. Let's see what else we got on this tape. Let's see what else is on. See if we can fast forward through. See if there's anything else on this side. It could be, for all I know, it could be just. See. It could be just that one game or whatever else is on this side. There's no real hints to what it is. It doesn't sound good. It sounds echoey. And a little struggle there with the sound of it. For the first time ever, I think we actually have some tapes that I can only say are fit for the bin. I'm afraid. I don't think these ones are worth salvaging in any way, shape, or form. They don't look good, and we're not losing anything here. So this is the next one. Fingers crossed. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, I can hear it squeaking in the tape drive. It actually sounds like somebody's killing a small hamster. And it's like June when he killed the hamster in the original '86 version, and he squished it down and went, and then he sucked its bloody juice out. Do you remember that when it was some Baron Harkonnen? There was a little mouse in it, and he scoffed it down. He squished it. I thought that was so cool. It's so cartoony. I'm sorry. I'm maybe one of the few people in the world who actually like the original '86 version of June. And to be fair, I do like the new one. I do. I'll be brutally honest. I have watched it a number of times. I think about 8 times now. And you know, and this is, you want to hear the hilarious part about watching it 8 times? Watching 8 times, I still enjoy it each time, and I still wonder whether it's pretentious or not. I've come to the conclusion it probably is pretentious, the new one, but not intentionally so. It's going with the source material as being pretentious, if that makes sense. So yeah, I kind of liked it. It was kind of good. I don't think it was a bad version of Dune. I think that's what I'm going to say. But I've never read the books, so I can't tell you any otherwise. The only thing I ever saw was the movie. No, it's still not. We're not getting anything, people. It's not off this other side. It's not going to happen. It does look like we're going to have to do Karate Ace, which isn't a bad thing because I quite fancy the idea of playing a bit of Bruce Lee and Way of the Exploding Fist, which is the greatest karate one-on-one game ever. And I'll fight anybody who says on Way of the Exploding Fist, of course, who says it isn't. So it's an open challenge. Oh my God, it's turned into Paul Logan. All I need now is a Pokemon card worth £6 million to wear around my neck. Yes. Oh, Dave. It's called Dave. What's Dave? Oh my God, this sounds brilliant. Let's break this. Let's put load code. Break. Load dit code. What's Dave? I've never heard of a game called Dave. Sounds like something from Red Dwarf. Hi, Dave. I'm going to search for it now. I'm going to search for Dave. Dave. What's Dave? Oh, it's loaded. Ah, right. Oh, my God. We now need some code. We need to do randomized user something or other. Oh, no. What was the code we were using the other week? I can't even remember what we were typing in. Let me see if I can remember what it was. There was a couple of weeks ago where we did the. I'm sorry, I covered my face there while I was talking. Sorry about that. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago we did a video. Was it 4? Let's go. Let's. I'm even looking on my YouTube channel now to find it. Oh God, advert. No, stop adverts. No, don't need advert. Don't need advert. Shut up. No advert. Skip the adverts. Right, okay, Okay, there was a load code that we had to use the other day to get things to work, and I remember it. Do you remember this? Because it was a Saturn game, and then there was this other one. Right, okay, there we go. Randomize user. What do we have to do? Randomize user. This is how we poke the memory location, so I've got to press the key. Randomize user. What's the number? 2, 5... 3, 9, 4, 2, 5, 9. Right, okay, so see if I can remember the code. Randomize. Extended mode. It's not that one. Oh God, what was the key? It's on the keyboard. Let me just find it. Hang on a second. You stay there. I'll be back a second. Hang on. It's called Dave. It's got to be good. Right. Dave, what's Dave? Randomized user, extended mode. Let's have a look. Let's find the user command. I'm looking on the keyboard. I had to get my old ZX Spectrum 48K down to have a little look at it because I can never remember it. Randomize user. Come on, where is it? User. There we go, on the L key. That's it. Extended mode L, and then we need to do that code there. 5, 3, 9, 4. Okay, nothing happened. So was that not the code that I need to use? That's the one it said I needed to use to poke a location, but I might not have been poking the right location. That's the problem, or doing something. That rebooted. I don't know what that means in real terms. Okay. I'll keep that open in case I need to do it again. Right, okay, let's see what else is on here. I don't know enough about coding on the Spectrum to actually know what I'm looking at when it does it. So I may have to defer to somebody else. Pull a lever. That's a cool one. Or maybe that was what was already on the tape, if that makes sense. Leave the tape running. Okay. Apollo 11. I always liked Apollo 11. It has the most amazing cover. This is a game where you have to land the spaceship on the planet, basically. So you're landing it down, and you've got to sort of cruise it down, and it's like the hardest sort of moon lander thrust sort of game that you'll ever play. One of the hardest ones, in fact. I'd challenge anybody to be able to manage this insensibly. Did you manage it back in the day? Whoever you are, you're saying you're lying. There's no way you landed this thing ever. It's too hard. It's literally too hard. It literally takes too much control. There's so much control involved in it. I'll tell you who might be able to do it. If you've ever seen 20th Century Gaming's channel, he's extremely good at gravity games. This is one of those kind of gravity games, but I'm not sure the gravity's particularly good. If I remember rightly, it moves very slowly as well, which is really odd. I'm not sure how we managed to get Dave at the beginning of Apollo. So we got Dave. I don't know. Maybe it's some early works from the well-known developer who has its own channel nowadays. Dave plays Retrogames Badly Birdsall. Have you been to his channel? That well-known developer. That was his bedrooms to billions to small amounts of pennies. He spent it all on retro stuff. Anyway, but no, maybe it was his. Maybe so his early work. Do you remember this tape? Was it yours? It's very niche, that sort of thing. Have a look at his channel, though. I'm sure you'll be able to find it. Anyway, but yeah, I quite like this one. I bought this one because it's got this most amazing sort of alien-esque picture on it. They used to spend a fortune on the art and the graphics for the games back in the day, and they do less so nowadays. I'm sure they do spend lots of money on it and the graphics and all this kind of stuff. But back in the day, they used to spend a fortune on selling these things to us. Budget titles, $1.99 titles, probably equivalent to about tenner nowadays. They did really, really, really good works in selling these games to us. And I don't know about you, because it was $1.99, it was kind of like my pocket money or whatever else it is. I used to keep it anyway, regardless of whether I really liked it or not. I just went on the shelf and I used to collect it, and there it was. I think, to be fair, looking back at my collection, I probably had, I don't know, say 30 titles, or what I would call big box titles. Lots of compilations where possible, so I probably had 10, 15 of those good compilations. And then the bulk of my collection, I don't know if this is your collection as well. I mean, I'll put the question out to all of you. But the bulk of my collection was just budget titles. Mastertronic was my life. Mastertronic, the value, Mastertronic Added Dimension, mad things. Do you know when those things came out? I was delighted. I was like, oh my God! They've added an extra pound to the price and the quality went up 10 times. I was so chuffed with those. And the quality of some of those games out there were just amazing. They really were. And we got them on budget titles. They were titles that you could pick up for your pocket money. You didn't have to worry about sort of, the huge cost of console games nowadays, or, mind you, I'm going to dismiss a little bit of that, because, obviously you've got a lot of digital marketplaces now where you can pick up things for pennies, but it doesn't beat that physical cassette in your I said it so much I said it twice, it's cassette. The cassette in your collection, just stuck there, and it's just amazing. Oh my God, Ian Rich, BSC, Darkstar, 1-2 for instructions. You have a command, it's a LEM, lunar exploration module, and your mission is to land it on the planet. This guy's game was just amazing. You can also get bonuses 10 times for smaller line sights. 2 to continue. What's the keys? O and P are left and right. Cap shift is thrust, space aborts. Okay, that's all there is to it. One to play. This is a hell of a game. So we'll try to turn the LEM now. This is the LEM here. I've turned it too far. I've literally spun it too far. You're meant to sort of tap the button. It's like the amount of pressure you're putting on it to turn it. Oh, thrusts. As I say, I dare anybody to finish this one. Thrust! With the... Oh, I'm thrusting upwards. Go! There we go. Oh my god, this game is so hard. It's just phenomenally tough. I get the feeling that Mr. Rich decided that he would make something that was accurate. Is that what I might want to say? I want to push away here. I think I put too much on. There's vertical and... Oh, God. Ah, right, there's thrust power there. The RSP is my thrust left and right. Look. There we go. That's too much thrust. Oh! That's at least 10 astronauts dead so far. I don't want to play anymore, please. Don't make me. Oh God, that was tough. Let me see what else is on this tape. I have. Oh, not that one. I have a feeling. Press brake twice to cancel. I'm pressing brake twice to cancel. There we are. I have a feeling that this is what was on this tape beforehand. I think we've. Yeah, we're under tape, right? Okay, we'll try the other side. So it must have been Apollo 11 on here. Apollo 11. They were never going to land if I was in control. They was just going to crash. Let's see what else is on here. See, there's some more Dave action. A bit more bites of Dave. I want a bite of Dave. People skipping through this and going, why is he biting Dave? Seriously, why does he want to bite? David! Now we've got David. So it's David. We've got David on here. I'm going to try it again. I'll try the load code again, alright? Let's give that a whirl. Let's do load code. I don't know how I access these things though. Somebody will have told me somewhere along the lines, but I don't know if I can run a. I'm gonna Google it. Right. Run machine code on ZX Spectrum, and then with randomize. Right, okay, tutorial. Let's see how I call the machine code on a Spectrum. This could be absolute beginners for Spectrum. Yeah, I know, that's lovely. Thank you very much. I love the way they're all going, oh, use this program instead. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's fine, but how do I actually bloody run it? How do we run it? How do we run it on the Spectrum? Game over. Yes, that's great. Thanks very much. Show me how to do that. Not interested in that. Randomize user. Right. Randomize user. No, I'm not interested in that. There's a system address and I don't know what to call. Come on, guys. What's the random? How do you using machine code? Yes, that's great. Thanks very much. What's the code to run it? Which one can I do it on? Which one can I do it on? It's searching for it. It's got one. It's loading the features in. Organizing. Yeah. Ah. Right. To run it assembler. No, it's to run the assembler direct from the Spectrum's memory. That's not what I want. Is it? I don't know. How do I run the program after I've got it? So I've got the things here to randomize it from straight from memory location. So it's a demonstration of how basic program works. You can call it by running, but you need to know what you're calling. Okay, let's try this. We'll give it a try again. So we got, that's not the one. Randomize. Tab, no. Extended mode. User. Let's try this. I've got something here, but I'm probably getting the wrong place. 2, 3, 7, 6. Nope, probably upset the Spectrum. That's no good at all. Let's see what else is on here. I don't know what David's things were, but that's the general gist of it. And I think we've got more of Apollo now. Yeah, it's the Apollo thing now. So Dave put some stuff on there. David and Dave. the twins. They decided to save time and call them Dave and David. Anyway, yeah, that was exactly how I was expecting this to go. Thanks for the tapes there, Mel. It went exactly as you expected, and you forecast. It went badly. But we don't worry about these kind of things on What's on the Tape. Right over here at What's on the Tape HQ, we don't worry about where we go to with that. So what I'm going to do is I've got 2 tapes here, and I'm basically going to choose one of these tapes to do. So I'm going to do one that I prefer, I think, is the answer to that. So let's just choose this one. Simply because it's also got something I've not played before on it, I think. Yeah, it's got something I've not played before on it. I don't think you've played on before either. So we'll give this one a try. It looks interesting. Because time's running out, so we're going to do one of those tapes. And we'll have a look at something else another day. So let's have a little look at this. Let's see if this will load. Let's go for it. So karate aces. We're acing the karates at the moment. Can't leave you without a few games anyway. That's the point, isn't it? That's what we need. A few games just to finish off and make sure we've all had some fun at the end of the day. And that's all we need. A bit of fun. That's why you come here. Come here to listen to my rubbish and see some Spectrum games being played. Hopefully something you haven't seen before. There we go. So this is tape 1. This is the Uchi Mata, which is basically the judo game. I'm sure it was sponsored by somebody previously back in the day. There was a guy who sponsored it. So can't remember his name, but he definitely sponsored it. I'm sure of it. I'll see how we'll go on, by the way, with these tapes. So it's just as time marches on. I got an A500 Mini on the weekend. Did you get one of those, or did you? But I got one of those. I got an A500 Mini. And as a sort of, I kind of went to Amiga Well, I had consoles, but then I went to the Amiga as my sort of primary computer, and then with PCs, of course. And I kind of went that direction, and once I got that direction, it was kind of the Amiga was a big thing for me. The A500 was the one I had, and the fact that there's an A500 Mini kind of excited me. I know that they're going to do a Maxi. We all know this, by the way. We're not stupid. We realise they're going to do a Maxi. I mean, the Mini's just like the Commodore 64. I think it's almost like they do it to sell the next one, if that makes sense, or fund the next project, maybe. That kind of makes sense, doesn't it? So if they sell this one, I mean, it's quite expensive, let's be honest. First released, it'll drop down to about 50 or 60 quid soon. But when first released, it's £110, I think it is. It's quite expensive. So I mean, if you not that any Americans ever watch this, but if they did, or from the US, it would be about $150, $160 maybe as a product. It's not a cheap sort of product by any means, but the quality was good, the weight was good, the controller weight was good. However, I'm not convinced that you really want a CD32 style controller with it, because the CD32 controller isn't. I'll be honest, the D-pad isn't the best, and it doesn't really feel right when you're playing things like Alien Breed. It works, but it doesn't feel the best. It's not. I'm not like convinced by it. So I realistically, I would rather stick a joystick in and use a joystick with 2 buttons or something. It kind of feels more realistic. Even an arcade style joystick would be more realistic. There you go, Brian Jacks, isn't it? Is that's almost there. Brian Jacks. I knew it was sponsored by somebody. Brian Jacks. Now, didn't he go on to do? Wasn't there another one? Super Sports or Superstars? That was it, Superstars. And he was in that, wasn't he? That was a TV show. And somebody told me that later, because I kind of played it on the channel, and somebody said to me, it's a TV show, and I'm like, oh, is it? Right, okay, I don't remember it at all in any shape or form. That was when they used to do, mind you, they still do this with celebrities, don't they? Now they're going to freeze them, apparently, on the BBC. I've only seen a bit of it, because it appeared on sort of a morning breakfast, and while I'm having my sort of, I'm quite a stickler for breakfast, because if you watch this channel from the beginning, you'll know that I spend a little bit of time looking after myself. It's been a while. I'm getting a bit old now, so I need to look after myself. So I took the sort of decision to walk more. which is fine. I do my steps in a day. I don't do so many on the weekend, but it's averaged out by the fact that I do more during the week, which is the way you do things in life, by the way. Everything in moderation. So I do that, and I had I had a brief. I think it was about 6-week period of doing a very not harsh diet, but a simple diet that I investigated myself, because I'm a big believer in that you don't need to pay somebody to tell you how to diet. You can find out yourself. You know, there's plenty of resources out there, and plenty of reputable resources out there, like the NHS, who will actually suggest how to do it as well. But there are good ways to diet, and I used a methodology that was there, and now I just control my calories. So I always have a big believer in breakfast. But yes, that's where we get into having breakfast, watching the telly with a cup of coffee, and my couple of eggs, because I love my eggs, a couple of eggs and telly, and the fact that they're doing some program about freezing celebrities, which I think is a great idea. Is there one where they can jump off a cliff? But be what you want to be. Don't follow those guys. Anyway, that's not a pearl of wisdom. That's just life telling me that after a long time. Right, quick coffee, and then we'll move on to the next bit. Press 1 for keyboard. Lovely. Right, press number 1 for keyboard. I don't know what buttons there are. Is it? Oh, he's got me. I did quite like the graphics on this. It's about grip and stamina, isn't it? You've got to push buttons in certain directions, and you can be flipped around like a lunatic. It's a throwing thing, isn't it? It's a throwing thing. It's a grips and throws and whatever else it is. It's not wrestling as such, but it's something. I don't know what happened there, but we spent too much time grappling. I've been grappled and thrown. I'm getting thrown everywhere, just the basic one. I mean, graphically it's okay. Nothing to write home about. Or actually playing. No, there we go. Player 2 versus the computer. Right. I wasn't actually playing. I thought I was. Yeah. Okay. I've quit. Oh, whatever. So yeah, that's judo. Not not a massive fan of that one. Let's carry on. And we might actually get to the other tape, considering I've just heinously sort of quit that one. Thank you very much, though, to Daryl for sending this over. I'm a big fan of these. I'm a big fan of compilations. When I was a kid, I used to love compilations, simply because they were a great way to maximise your pocket money, weren't they? Or pocket money or birthday money. If you bought a compilation, I remember being in WH Smith's, and I don't know whether they were around the same time, but we'll go with the example I'm going to go with, and because I know which one I bought. I was in WH Smith's, and there was the Soft A tape, and the Soft A tape I think was £5.95. I think when it came out. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty convinced it's £5.95. So the Soft A tape was there. It had 10 titles on it. 10. Count them, 10 titles. You know, you were getting proper value for money, and some of these were like quality titles. You know, there were some really good titles on there that from some good makers, and the Soft A tape was there. I found the front cover quite disturbing though, because at the time it was about starvation in Ethiopia and whatever else it was, and I kind of found it quite a disturbing cover. If I'll be brutally honest, I did. I found it quite disturbing. Oh, that's a classic title, by the way, right there, Way of the Exploding Fist. But I found it quite disturbing. But at the same time, I stood there and I looked at it as well. And when you get that money in your hand, you do look at the other titles. You do pick up the other $5.99 titles, and you go, am I going to buy? And I'm going to suggest it was Monty Mole. It's wanted Monty Mole, or are you going to just go for the one with multiple things in it? And it had to be the one with multiple things. But as I say, it took me a while to buy that one. It was a little bit of a a hard sort of struggle for me to buy that one. I wanted the games. I was pleased that it was supporting the course, but I did find it a little bit unnerving with the cover on it. I thought it was very strong for a kid, if that makes sense. And it should have been, rightfully so. Nobody should starve to death, and most definitely nobody should starve to death in a Western country. And I'm not even going to go there politically with what's going on. So, but anyway, yeah, it was one of those things, you know. So compilations for me, one of those game things where you could get lots for your money. I had those computer hits. I had those, you know, and of course the special tapes kind of fitted into that you know, that idea of compilations, and that's what it is. It's all about compilations. We used to get value for money, and quite literally, first off, we've just had Brian Jack's Judo. We're going on to Way of the Exploding Fist, a game that is utterly phenomenal. I still to this day think it's phenomenal. I think it's really, really brilliant. Karate game. There isn't any better, if you ask me, in the sense of a strategic sort of fighter and game that you can play. And then you've got, you know, and then you've got sort of, you know, you've got other games on here. We're gonna. I mean, we're flying through this. It's a massive seven compilation. And if I'd got this, I'd have been so pleased. So and a big box as well. You never beat a big box realistically. I mean, it's also got Avenger on it, not one of my favourites. But that's still a good game. A lot of people like it. You've got the Kung Fu for Master arcade conversion. Love that game. You've got Way of the Tiger. Oh, I forgot that was on there. Way of the Tiger. That's also one, not a massive favourite of mine, but it was there. The Samurai trilogy. Not played that one before. I've got Bruce Lee. I mean, there's some good titles on here. Some strong stuff in the sense of games. So yeah, you got your money's worth with those. Most definitely got your money's worth. I think we'll try and tackle it, actually. Now I'm in the mood. I've got in the mood. We're in the mood for it. Let's try and tackle it. So let's try and tackle the whole thing. And we'll see if we can get through. I actually have a huge collection of Way of the Exploding Fist. I don't know if I've ever said this before, but I have the BBC version, I've got the Amstrad CPC version, I've got the Commodore 64 version, I've got the Commodore 64 version. These are tape versions, of course. Commodore 64 version, which is an altered cover, because it was published by two different publishers, not just Melbourne House. So I have the replay ones where they came out a second time round, so I've got the replay ones. The ones I'm really missing and the ones I really want, or it seems to be almost as rare as rare can be, is the... I'm looking for the C16 version of it. Not the re-release, but the original game. The original game is one of the hardest games you'll ever find to find. I have never even seen it in the wild. I've seen a print of the cover, but I've never seen the actual game itself. I don't think it exists. I really don't. So and there we go. Down you go. There we go. Full thing. I like the fact that it's one hit is the thing that does it. It's one hit and you've got it. So that's me there, by the way, fighting away with my karate moves. I'm quite good at this. I'm not, well, I say quite good. I'm not bad. There we go. Down you go. One hit. Sometimes I wonder why. I think it's because you don't get full contact. That you get less points. Sometimes. There we go. Down he goes. Got him. Love the backgrounds as well. Look at those backgrounds. They're just fantastic. So, don't know what I was talking about there. I was just completely lost what I was talking about. Something. C64 16 version. Unbelievable. I also need the arcade, the American version. There's an American version of the... There's an American version of this, which is not called quite Way of the Exploding Fist, but it's a disc version. I saw it. It was about £120, and I wasn't very keen on paying £120 for it. But as I say, I have a collection of the bulk of these actual games, and I really love them. I think they're brilliant. I think they're one of my favourite. I was going to give them the sweep as well. Sweep the leg. Yeah, so they're one of my favourite sort of karate games of all time. I simply like the simplicity of a single hit being enough to incapacitate your opponent. I think that's a lovely touch. So, oh, give me the kick. I really want to roundhouse him. Oh, come on! I could have roundhoused you there. Roundhouse did it? What's a roundhouse did it? There, go down. See if I can stay in this a bit longer. I'm one hit away from not being. Oh, down. I'm out. I'll try to do a roundhouse on him, but I'm going to move on because we've got a lot to see and a lot to do, and we've still got limited time. But anyway, but yeah, there are a few. There's the BBC the BBC's disc version of it. There's a few that I've got left. I'll admit there's a few I've got left, but I'm doing quite well with it. It's a lovely collection. I'm delighted with it. One of my friends through the retro community, he sent me the Spanish version, which comes in a clamshell for the Spectrum, which I thought was kind of cool. I thought that was a nice touch that it came from the Spectrum in a clamshell. So this should be Samurai Trilogy. Yes. Now the program is on the other side. Samurai Trilogy. This is not one I've played. I think I have it as a full game. I'm not too sure. It'll be on one of the many piles of Spectrum games that I have, and I'm sorry about that. There's piles. I don't really do sorting. I kind of like being surrounded by my stuff. I think this may make me a hoarder, but but I kind of like it. I find it kind of nice that I'm kind of surrounded by stuff. Stuff is all right, if you ask me. So anyway, what am I talking about? Anyway, we've I don't know about this one. I'm not sure what it says. Let's have a sneaky look at the manual. See what the manual says. Let's see. We've got the Samurai Trilogy on page 19. Deep in the Orient, Orient in the province of Nang River, exists a band of fighting warriors, highly skilled and highly developed students of all calibers. Cool. Gameplay. You've got to make tactical decisions and defensive decisions. And I just can't read it this morning. My eyesight's just terrible. There's buttons to be pressed. We got to press some buttons. That's what we got to do. Buttons. God, why are my eyes so bad today? Oh, I woke up like this. I think it's because I had a long sleep. I've been, as I say, I'm off next week, so I'm kind of, I've got things planned. I'm not going to let you know. Well, we'll let you know, but it'll be exciting when it happens. It does happen, but yeah, I've got some things to do. So exciting sort of day trips. Take the kids out, take the wife out as well. All of us going. It'll be nice. It'll be lovely. It'll be fun. But we've got things on. So and definitely some of it's retro gaming related. Simply because I like it. I like doing my retro gaming stuff. You should do things that you love if you can. That's what they always say, don't they? So if you can do things that you love, just do them. So I do love it. I do love playing games, and I do love sort of talking rubbish on a microphone and in a darkened room surrounded by things from the 80s. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not quite a darkened room, actually. The curtains are open. The sun's shining outside. It's lovely. It's a beautiful day out there. I'm sitting in here looking at Samurai Trilogy. Merlin Magic Music Samurai Trilogy. Yes! Copyright 1987, Gremlin Graphics. It's very nice. It's just like watching the TV. Yes, very much like watching the TV. Right, graphics by Bob Hawker. Hit the joystick button to begin. Do I have a joystick? Do I have to have a joystick? Ah, right, okay, 1 for English. Is it 0? English. Select the language you require. English, thank you. I'm selecting it. Ah! No, don't. No! I've said C! Please don't say C. Oh my god. I've chosen... I want to be a samurai. How do I be a Oh my god, I've managed to pick it up and I've managed to make it Spanish. I think I have to turn it over and play the tape from the other side. I've managed to make it Spanish. I really do apologise. I don't know what the controls are. It's in Spanish. This could be not very entertaining. Yeah, I don't know how I've done that. I've got to turn it over. I managed to do karate as well. I wanted to be a samurai, but I managed to do karate in the process. I don't for God's sake. Can't take me anywhere. Not trustworthy. Not trustworthy at all as I reach down to get the other cassette from the floor, because I could see us changing over shortly. So, what we got on here? Avenger Bruce Lee, Way of the Tiger, game sections for the Way of the Tiger, and then we've got Kung Fu Master at the end of it. What a surprise, Kung Fu Master is last. I don't know if that was intentional or not. We'll see if that was intentional. But yeah, we got that's what's on the tape. That's what's on this tape. I can't believe I've done that. Pushed the wrong bloody buttons. Don't leave me in charge of the red button. There's a game like that. Do you know that? There's a game on Steam. It says "Don't touch that button." I think it's called. I think the actual game is called "Don't touch the button." And the game has one button in the middle of the thing. Basically, your colleague says, "Excuse me, I've got to go to the loo. Can you watch the button?" And it's literally a red button in the world. And obviously, if you go over and push the red button straight away, the world gets nuked. If you do nothing, your colleague comes back and pushes, doesn't push the button, but just watches the button. But there's like lots of hidden secrets around it. So if you push certain things on the level on the screen, certain other things open, and there's a whole mystery around this pushing this red button. I know it sounds really bizarre that that's actually an entertaining game, but it is. It's actually quite an entertaining game. There's lots of puzzle elements to it, and you start getting more and more puzzles where there's graffiti scribbled underneath a panel that previously wasn't moved, and you move a panel and there's another panel, and then you move this and there's something else, and there's more to it than just the thing that you think's there originally. Is that not loading? That's called typical. That's typical. Well, do you know what? It was on its way to being not being loaded anyway, because it's. There we go. What's it doing? That's proper. That's not loading. I don't even want to go there. Right, it can go into the tape drive and we'll rewind it. Let's play something else. If you're not going to play, you're not getting played. It's tough. Let's go with something else. You don't want to load. Don't load. I should have done the 128K version for that. To be honest with you, I think that would have probably worked. But never mind. Let's do this. Let's push this button. Got the tape rewinding in the drive. Karate Aces. This should be Avenger. Is it Way of the Tiger that I don't like, or is it Avenger? It could be both, actually, to be honest with you. Do I remember Way of the Tiger? Were they a Choose Your Own Adventure books as well? Way of the Tiger and Avengers, were they Choose Your Own Adventures? I have a feeling they were. I do. I have a feeling they were. Just rewinding this tape. The other tape. There we go, Avenger. Done well with this one so far. Oh, there we go. Avenger. Can't remember anything about it, to be honest with you. Just utterly rubbish I am. Avenger, page 2. Page 2, Avenger. Having successfully completed your training, you're now ready to avenge your stepfather and take back the scrolls of Kitsuin from the wicked Yenmon. The wicked Yenmon to appease the god Kiwon and release him from his eternal hell. Oh, look at that for a loading screen. It's quite sexy though, we've got to admit. There are 2 nunchucks over his shoulder. Because it was the 80s, so you can't call him a ninja. He's probably a man in a jumpsuit or something similar, according to the Tories. Yeah, good old Margaret Thatcher. She really hated ninjas. Really hated ninjas, honestly. Seriously, hated the ninja. The Tories hated the ninja. There was the whole thing about it. That's why in this country we've not got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We had Teenage Hero Turtles, didn't we? Teenage Hero Turtles, not Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Just couldn't be a ninja. You weren't allowed ninjas, and nunchucks were a lethal weapon on a par with the old flick knife and nuclear weapons, weren't they? That was it. Having nunchucks was pushing it too far, and watching Bruce Lee would turn you into an insane martial arts killing machine if you dared to watch that in the 80s. I mean, I'm surprised they even didn't ban Can you imagine if they'd actually cut Teenage Hero Turtles, Teenage Hero Mutant, I don't know, whatever it is. But anyway, those heroes in the half shell, it could have been a lot different, couldn't it? If there had been absolutely zero ninjas in it, it would have just been like a bit at the beginning with Shredder, giving them a little bit of whatever else it is, and a bit of April O'Neil, and then the credits. It wouldn't have happened, would it? There might have been a bit goo. Pizza eating. There'd have been lots of pizza eating. They would have eaten a pizza at the end and just cut it down to the bare minimum. The bare bones of the whole thing. They used to do that. Do you remember that? TV edits, those days. TV edits of things. Oh my god. It's amazing to think of all these things that actually happened back in the day, and then now they're not the same. I've got keyboard. I don't know what my keys are for it. I can't kick him. Why do they look like gremlins? The creatures look like gremlins. What's the kick button? What's the attack button? There must be an attack button somewhere. I don't know what the attack button is. I've literally got the controls here written down. Let me just see if I can find them. Let's find the keys for it quickly. Literally got them written down here. Let's see the keys. 0 and 2 is to call the god Kwon. Kwon replenished your energy. Hurrah! That's it. That's my cry. Yes, I've kicked him in the face. You too. Got no keys. I need some keys to get in there to get the scrolls of Kwon back, because Kwon wants to be from Yemod, whatever it's called, Yamon, the Rastafarian, from the Orient. No, I don't think he was. Yeah, this is a puzzly kind of adventure-y game. Running out of shurikens. Yeah, kicked you in the face. I have a feeling I've used my keys, though. This is the problem. I've used my keys already. I've not got keys. Ah, there's a key. So I can go in this door here and get some treasure, I think. There's some treasure in here. I got some treasure. I got your treasure. Stole it. I'm further in your dungeon now. There we go. And now we're in the dungeon. We need to find some more keys. Can I go down the hole? No, can't go down the hole. For a game I don't like very much, I'm quite enjoying it. So there we go. It's clearly, you know, you can change your mind. That's the other thing. You can change your mind. And I was going to break into an ABBA song there. Oh, I'm dead. I should have called on Kawang or whatever he's called. Or Krang, the heavy metal magazine. Right, okay, load it. Let's get some action in here. Let's get what we got next. I don't know what we got next. Whatever it is, it's gonna be good. That's not what I was expecting. Oh, it must have been a 128k game. Damn. Must have been a 128k game, because that's just done a little bit load there. So let's hope this loads. Next one. It should be. I don't know. They're all mixed up on the blooming tapes. It says what it is, but let's see what it is. Come on. Oh no. Let's do. Yeah, should have done that as 128k. See if it worked. Here we go. Should be Bruce Lee, I think. Yes. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. Do you remember that? When he died? Is it die? He goes, dun-dun-dun. It's very weird. Was it when they die, they go dun-dun-dun? One of the two, anyway. So this is a really, really fantastic game. This is a combination of platformer and karate all at the same time. I mean, you can't get a better combination than that, can you? Platformer and karate. I got Osaka Rush the other day, which is an arcade sort of beat 'em up with a. I guess it's kind of roots of somebody who's obviously seen Bruce Lee and kind of done the same sort of thing. You basically have to work your way through levels, jumping up and down and doing bits and pieces. This is kind of the thing. Bruce Lee's just a really weird genre, though. I don't think it quite fits into everything, because there's also a puzzle adventure to it, a part to it. You know, you've got to collect these lanterns so that you can get to the end to beat the sort of wizard that's holding. Is he holding a princess captive, or is it just a general sort of? Oh, you just have to beat the evil wizard. Either way, so it's a weird one to have the title on as well. You know, the Bruce Lee name as well. It's one of those other things. I'm surprised to let this one go as well, because of course Bruce Lee was a karate person, wasn't he? So yeah, I'm surprised we made it through the 80s. I mean, all we wanted to do was be ninjas, didn't we? After we realised, it was nothing to do with the fact that we didn't. Most of us didn't know that they were banned or whatever else it is, you know. But I think I certainly remember the fact that there was something illicit about the martial arts, the scary ability to become a living weapon. You know, I think there was some of that went on, but not entirely, 100%. A requirement that we went and became living weapons. I mean, I did judo. It didn't make me a living weapon. Oh, coffee is good. I love coffee. That's the end of the coffee, though. It's an hour later, and we've got nice. By this point, it's like lukewarm. There's not much temperature in that left. There's not much left in that one. We're churning our way through, though. We're gonna make it. You're still there. I'm still here. We're still enjoying it, aren't we? We're still having fun. And as I say, got a week ahead of interesting things. I hope you look at my A500 Mini overview realistically. I think one of the questions a lot of people are asking about the A500 Mini is who's it aimed at? Well, actually, it's aimed at me. I'm the person it's aimed at because I like it as a collector. As a Commodore Amiga fan, I like it because of that. I like it because I can quick load stuff onto it, so I can put them onto a memory stick, and I can side load pretty much every game that I ever wanted, and reconfigure that silly pad in any way that I fancy to make sure it works. And that was naughty of you, you bad program. That was very bad of you. Let's see. Have I got? I'm looking to see if I can find a copy of Bruce Lee handy, because I don't really want to rewind that. Don't really want to rewind that tape. Let's see if I can see Bruce Lee. I'm looking hard. I definitely have a copy of it, but I can't see it handy. That's really annoying. I might have to put it on PlayZX. So let's just do that. We'll do that. Let's get it on. This is me. That would be jinxing myself at that point. Now, to be fair, the tape was half rewound. I hate it when that happens. Don't you hate that? I can't believe people don't rewind it. You do know else? I searched PlayZX for Dave. I did. I searched it for Dave. Bruce Lee. We'll go with that one. I've got the Americana version of it somewhere, actually, to be honest with you. Loaded it. Here we go. We'll have this one. Fingers crossed. It'll load. And then what we got next on here on this tape? Let's look at this tape. We've got The Way of the Tiger. And as I say, I kind of have a feeling that there's something like a choose-your-own adventure that went with these. I do think there was that kind of thing that went with these games. I might be wrong, but it just feels like there was. So this is the original US Gold release rather than the Americana version. There was one called Americana. Do you remember that, where they used to try and convince us that the games were cooler because they were got an American label on them, you know, John Wayne, these things. So that's a very bad John Wayne, but you know what I mean. They tried to make them cooler because they were Americanized. And there was a range, wasn't there, from like the Ninja one came on it, and something else as like US Entertainment or something like that. It was just ridiculous, realistically. But this is how they tried to sell it to us. You know, there's an America, or so, the good old the days of. I'm trying to be an American, but I can't do it very well. But you know what I mean. The days of sort of excess and US things, and we were bombarded by teen dramas about the Breakfast Club and lots of other John Hughes movies and Weird Science. We all love Weird Science. You know who I'm talking about. But the point is that we were bombarded by that culture and whatever else. So they tried to spice up the Spectrum games by doing Americana, and it's like really, most of them are programmed in I don't know, in somewhere in the Midlands or something like that, or Bradford or something. Just any random location, Slough. Somewhere in Manchester, yeah. All these places are clearly, clearly. So Dundee, that was another one, wasn't it? Dundee, lots of stuff in Dundee. You know, Rockstar headquarters, Dundee, of all places. You know, so and it's like they were all programmed there, and I'm sure that Datasoft wasn't much different realistically. They were probably somewhere outside of Reading or something like that. The point is that they tried to spice it up for us, and it didn't really matter. We didn't really care, did we? We really didn't. All we wanted to do was collect games and have those great covers and all the bits that went with it. We didn't really care whether or not it said US something or other. I wasn't ever that big a fan of either sort of the American Arcana or not. It didn't really matter to me. But yeah, quite funny really. But Bruce Lee died young, didn't he? Didn't he die young? And then his son did, Brandon Lee. There was that debate about the thing. He said that there was a curse following the family. Did Brandon Lee have any children? I can never remember. Didn't he die during the filming of The Crow, the first Crow movie? I think he did, didn't he? This is one of the first games I ever played on a Commodore 64. Actually, I'll be honest. I'll tell you the truth. I played it on a Commodore 64. This is the first one. QA, NM, QA, OP. Sorry, and that's the punch at the bottom. Right. Okay, that's fine. No problem at all. Let's press enter to begin. Now this is one of these quite cool games because you could have your friends be what's the sumo wrestler here. He could be the alternative the alternative character. Your friend could be that. Oh, show. They and they will fight each other, which is quite funny. So, but your friend could be it. So it was like competitive. They could beat you and take you out of the level and things like that. So, and then they had to sort of respawn at a certain time, and we could do this. So we're collecting these lanterns anyway, and these lanterns open up certain levels. It's kind of cool, I have to admit. that this is one of my favourite games, if I'm honest. I do like Bruce Lee. The Master System sort of remake stroke clone of this is unbelievable. It's well worth looking up, the Master System version. It's just a shame they couldn't get the necessary license to do it for real, if that makes sense. It's kind of consigned to not being the game it really should have been, if that makes sense. So which is a shame because it's brilliant. Now watch the face of the is it the face of the oh no, they don't move now. I was going to say, look at the face of the animal on the side there. It's like the hippo thing. It's hippo cow thing. But it's not till later that actually happens. It starts flashing and you can go back again. So that opened this part. Look at these graphics. They're great. They work really well. Now they get killed by that thing. So opens the doors, goes through. I'll see if I can remember how to play this. See if we can do well on it. Great game, this one of my faves. Yeah, so we get this sort of thing is, I don't know what you want to call it. It's like a vine or something similar that moves, and you basically go up there. There's some levels where those guys don't feature, these fellas here. They don't appear because the level's hard enough without them. So they don't go. Oh god, that was close. And then there's explosive things on the floor there. See on the floor there? Those are explosive pads, these things on the floor. So you can run over them and upset the computer characters. I have to admit, I mean, I have played the Commodore version. The Commodore version is very nice, but Spectrum version is better. Spectrum version is better in my mind. The level colours are better. That's a bizarre one to say. So this is one of the levels where the computer thing doesn't appear. So you basically it doesn't appear in here because it's too hard a room for you to do without worrying about computers. There we go. So they don't appear in here. So you're left alone. Brilliant. It's a lot of fun, this one. I know that there's a hacked version which gives you 2 little ninjas. So 2 of the little ninjas, the little ones, rather than the fat sumo guy, are there. He's actually green in the original game. That's a really bizarre thing. Up we go. There we go. Jump. Yeah, it's actually green in every other version. It's just the Spectrum version is not green. Oh no! Shit! Do. Messed that up. Oh shit! I forgot you. Oh, you can fall off there. You idiot! I made that mistake. It's been a while since I played it. I will say that that it's been a long time since I've played the Spectrum version. Right, they go down now. I need to climb up, or I need to go down and I need to climb up. There we go. Then we go up. And out the level. And then, boom. Up we go. See if do you know something? I'm kind of in the mood to. It's been a while, but I'm kind of in the mood here. I'm kind of on a roll. There we go into there. Now the mouse is the mouse is there. The mouth's open. See it? The mouth's open. We're good. It's open. It's ready to go. Saying go through here. So we go through here. Oh, and these appear and disappear. And then we go down here. And that one, down here. And then it's now bells rather than lanterns. Oh, sugar. You get falls, basically, as your damage. So the number of times you fall and die, basically. So. And up here. And then up here. Oh, God. There we go. Get on there. You can actually punch as well, but I think in this case it's probably better to kick him in the face. So up we go, and then we've got these secret passages. Now, funnily enough, this is where... Oh, God. This is where the Master System version, the one I was telling you about, the remake, stops. You only have one... You don't have all of these rooms available to go into. So you only get the one, I think it is, room to go into. So you can't go into these sections here, which are special, like, rooms to do on the Master System version. But you have to do all these rooms to kind of finish the game. I'll just keep going while I'm at it. Oh, God. I don't know what that was for. I can't remember. It's been so long. I haven't done this well for years, to be honest. So excuse me while I be excited about this for a while. There's another one. Alright, that's back out. So I've done all that bit. Aha, this takes us into this bit of it. Alright, okay. Up we go. Into this next room. Takes us out there. Right, okay, this should finish off the third part of the room. And then we're almost done, I think. Hey, we're almost done. Oh, God, I forgot about how horrible that bit is. Oh, my God. I think this is... We're near the end now. I'm going to go right up to the top and we'll work my way down. Right, the way to the top. He's patrolling in there. This is no good. You stay there. Yeah, you stay there. There we go. Oh my God, I can't believe how well I'm doing here. I apologise for this long video, but this has been... It's been so long since I've played this. Now I need to duck. There's a duck button, which you barely ever use, and then you get to these points and you go, oh, I better duck. Ah, sugar. I made a mistake here. I need to go over that little ramp there, I think, and up and down. Oh God! I've remembered what you have to do here. You have to climb and up here, and then work your way along once they go. My God, this is gonna be quick. This is gonna be savage. Oh, it's savage. And then the same for the top bit. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, that's savage. Go, 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 go. Shit! I forgot about the bit there. Oh, no! It fell on my head. It fell on my head. Sorry, I've got completely obsessed by this game here. Well, it's been so long since I've done so well. I'm kind of excited. Come on, Bruce. And up we go. Go 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 go. Drop! Quick 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 quick! My God. There we are. Just got to get to the bell at the end, and we've won. We beat the I've beaten it. You've actually seen it finished on the channel. You've seen Bruce Lee finished. Congratulations, there's the end screen. You've actually seen it finished. You've seen a game finished by me. There's very few times that actually happens, but we have done it. And it starts all over again because that's the way the games work back in the day. You get to do it again. See how good you are. I can't believe I finished that on the channel. That is just amazing. That doesn't happen very often. I've just realised this next game is probably a 128k game, so we're going to give it a go with this one. But that doesn't happen on the channel very often. Well, you're welcome. I enjoyed that. I didn't realise it was so close to the end. I didn't realise actually how quick it was to finish Bruce Lee, actually. I really didn't. I wonder how much there's a record for like the number of times looped. I mean, I found out recently that they do speed runs on Jet Set Willy. I mean, it's unbelievable, realistically. But yes, amazing. I'm so pleased with myself. A little chuffed there with that one. I get a little badge. I think I got a little badge going. I beat the wizard in Bruce Lee. I might get a T-shirt made up with it on, just the end sequence, just saying congratulations. I beat it. Yeah? No? What games do you like that you finish quite regularly, or which ones have you ever beaten? That's a long time since I've beaten that one, and I'm quite pleased with myself for that one. I could have probably done it without actually losing any falls. That would have been better, without taking any damage. Sort of a Dark Souls approach to it. Dark Souled it, realistically. We did a good Dark Soul the whole thing. I'm going to save time for searching through this. Once we've got this loaded, I'm going to load this one, and I'm going to get Kung Fu Master out on the old PlayZX to save time searching through it, because I think that realistically, I know it's on the tape, but it'll be faster if we just quickly get to it instead. Kung Fu Master. Just finding it now. Americana, original release. Found it. Done. NEK. Play the whole game. Play pull fighting. Play 1. Insert unarmed combat. Do you think it's on this side or the other side of the tape? I think it's on the other side of the tape. I think I'm going to rewind the tape. Because it looks like the data may be on the other side. So let's rewind the tape. That'll be a massive mistake, by the way, if I've just rewound that and isn't on the other side tape. There's a big tiger at the bottom. Grrr. That was just a terrible grrr. Grrr. What was that thing with the tigers that everybody was on about on Netflix the last year, the year before, whatever else? It was the one with that guy who was called Joe Exotic. I mean, seriously, anybody calls himself Joe Exotic, that's hilarious. But yeah, there's that one, isn't there? Doing it? Tiger King, what was it? Wasn't it Tiger King? Everybody was obsessed by it on Netflix. I mean, it was just car crash telly, wasn't it? I did actually watch it. I watched it and I was mesmerised by the fact that it was such car crash telly. It's well worth watching because it's so mesmerising, but at the same time, it's like, really? Am I watching this? Am I here right now? But yeah, you know, sometimes you need that kind of a little bit of release, some terrible 80s slashers and things like that. I mean, what did I watch the other day? Was it Doomed Asylum, wasn't it? And it was awful, but it was brilliant at the same time. It's just absolutely awful. It had that girl who was in went on to do the Sex and the City thing. The brunette, the little brunette, she was in it. She was. This is one of her early roles, and it's really funny though because the thing about sort of cheesy slashers and all this kind of stuff. It was often where your adult entertainers ended up. So in the case of that particular one, I hadn't realised it until I looked at the video to put the sort of, I'd watched this the other day on my Facebook page. Was when I looked it up, it's one of those places where adult entertainers go. So there was 2 Penthouse stars in there from the back in the day. Yeah. It was just quite funny, really. But to be fair, I don't remember actually being an awful lot of nudity in it. It was one of the few that hadn't got as much nudity. There were a lot of bikinis, obviously, but not a lot of nudity. So just one of those things. It's just ridiculous. A man running around who'd survived a car wreck and then spends his time in a loony asylum. I don't know how he ended up in a loony asylum, actually, because he was in a mortuary, wakes up because he's not dead, removes the face of a few people, as you do, his own face removed, and then spends the next 20 years knocking around a lunatic asylum. How does that happen then? He died in a mortuary. Was that like the closest mortuary was a lunatic asylum? Very weird, realistically. I mean, let's be honest. It was one of those things. It was just pure pulp. It really was. And then Mel LaBelle suggested that I try. I think it's called Street Trash, and you can find it on YouTube actually if you want to find it. Street Trash. That's absolutely pure garbage, exactly as it seems. I mean, but it's fun at the same time. It's just totally ridiculous and over the top, but quite stupidly 80s fun. I couldn't quite get the gist of it, but it's something to do with some kind of chemical that was melting the homeless. So the homeless were drinking this cheap equivalent of like meths or something like that, or alcohol, and then melting in the streets. It was kind of weird. It was just, yeah. It was what it was. But yeah, it was all right actually. To be honest, I didn't mind it. Do you know what? Sometimes you need that, don't you? You need a brain release. It's like just disengage your brain, just accept it. You know, don't try and work it out. Don't try and work out a story. The only time you need to work it out is when somebody tries to make you work it out and then does a really poor job of it. It's so. I noticed they're doing a whole bunch of Agatha Christie movies now. So from the books, Agatha Christie's sort of stories, they're doing a whole bunch of them, remakes. I'm a little bit frightened to see what they've turned into, to be honest with you, because I can't help feeling that modern day audience requires you to show it in a short or 30 seconds, and there you go, the murderer was this person. Now we're going to watch the whole movie, and you're going to try and work out who the murderer was. But by the way, by the first 30 seconds, the youth of today would have lost that completely. Wouldn't have been able to retain that beyond that, unless it was twerking at the same time. You know, the murderer was twerking their name and they're behind. and then of course they would have remembered entirely who the murderer was for the whole movie, because the whole point of those movies was to try and work out who the killer was. That was the point. We loved that for those back in the day and those kind of things. But yeah, we don't know nowadays what that's all about. But yeah, the youth of today would need it in shorts. So that'll be the way it would go. Prepare yourself, student, for unarmed combat. That's punch. That's walk left. That's walk backwards. Oh dear. That's jump. That's punch up. That's chop. That's moonwalk. Eddie, are you okay? Are you okay, Eddie? Eddie, are you okay? No? Oh God. And then does this button do something? No, we just stride forward in a way that says we're striding. I've been kicked in the ghoulies. Oh, what's the keys for punching? I should know better, realistically, because I'm literally got the instructions. I'm now facing the wrong way. Let's just run away. Run away! Run away! Ministry of Silly Walks. I'm prepared for unarmed combat by running away. See if we can generate some more people. Look at the scenery. I like the flowers. They're kind of cool, aren't they? Look at that parallax scrolling, peoples. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 planes. Well, the top on the top doesn't really move, so that's the background. So 3 planes, including the one I'm walking on, that parallax scrolling, giving us a sense of depth there. Oh, and one at the front there, look at that, with the dog coming past us. Yeah, I'm not sure I'll play this one. I think it's got me because I don't know how to turn round. Oh, hang on. Can I make a kick? I can't make a single kick. Just total failure there. Right, okay. We know what else is on this tape. We're not even going to worry about it. We're going to do the last one. We're going to do the last thing. We're going to do the last game on here. We're going to cheat it by putting it into the play off the PlayZX because I'm not fast forwarding through all that to try and find it. I know it's fun, but let's not do that. Let's not do that. I didn't expect this episode to go on so long. So thank you for joining me, and thank you for seeing my victory. My victory on Bruce Lee. I was never going to have victory on the way of the exploding flesh. Not on the way of the exploding flesh. The way of the tiger. That was never going to happen. But I'm kind of pleased that we did this. I'm pleased that you've been here. Thank you for joining me. It's been fun. I always appreciate it. Do you know I had quite a lot of success last week with the what's on the tape. It got relatively well publicised, and quite a lot of people watched it. So I'm quite pleased about that. So if you're new to it and you've joined me for this episode, thank you for joining me. They're not always as chaotic, but they can be. It's the nature of the beast. Literally, what's on the tape is probably one of the rawest sort of videos you'll see on the internet. I literally take whatever I find and I see whether we can work it or not. And this week it was the Order 66, the return of the cassette tape provided by my wonderful friend and follower of the channel, Mel Bell. Thank you, Mel. These tapes provided by my other wonderful friend Daryl. Thank you, Daryl. Appreciate that. I know you don't comment on the comments, but you do send me emails occasionally. So thank you for that. I like to try and have fun, and I do have fun. I actually had fun this week. I had a lot of fun. I had fun last week as well. We had so many good games last week. I had a lot of fun. It's great. There's so much nostalgia in Spectrum stuff. If you've been a Spectrum user, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When we grew up on those days and we waited for the things to load and do whatever else it was, and they really did show off what our imagination was a big factor in it. It showed off what our imaginations could do, didn't it? And I mean, I don't know. I wonder if anybody. I mean, I'm obviously old and crumbly, but I grew up in the Spectrum. You know, in my youth, you know, before my teens and all this kind of stuff. I grew up in the Spectrum. I wonder if anybody else really took to these as sort of maybe another 20 years older than myself. You know, sort of they'll be in the sort of 70s or 80s now. You know, would they have been quite as taken by the Spectrum? I don't know if there's any people out there that are quite the level of it. I've just realised there's a wonderful little the animation for the Cobra that's just underneath his well, I would assume that's his left buttock, underneath the left buttock of the man in the middle, swinging his foot up after he's just walloped the other guy in the face there. That little snake there, just that's a lovely little bit of. That's a simple thing, but you can tell it's a snake, can't you? There's very few pixels involved in that, but the shape and the size and the shaping of it tells you it's a snake. It's very cool, isn't it? I actually think that's very cool. I do think this is an underrated little gem by a lot of people. I know it's been remade, and it's been remade 16 frames per second. I know it was excellent in the arcade. I know that. I'm with you with these things, but I still liked it because I got to bring home the arcade, and that was what we got with the Spectrum and things like that. It was all about bringing home the arcade and bringing home those exciting things that we could have. This is what this is all about. These are the games that we wanted to bring home. I wanted to see do that. I mean, I remember watching Kung Fu Master for the first time, and I realise now, looking back on it, watching the guy on the Kung Fu Master, he actually wasn't very good because he didn't pass the first stage. Because I remember him beating the hell out of people, like rows of those guys in their grey and pink pyjamas, and he was sort of, you know, smacking them and making them fall off the side, and they just sort of fell off quite rigidly. And I remember him doing that, and I remember, and now thinking back on it and knowing that the second level doesn't really contain an awful lot of those. There's just falling pots from the ceiling. It kind of tells you an awful lot about his actual skill level. It was bad. I think I'm loaded. I have loaded. I have loaded again. There we go, we're loaded. We're on. Press M for menu. M for menu. I like this so much that I've actually played this several times on the old, when I was on the Vega, I played this. So kick. Barely used punch, to be honest with you, but anyway, enter to finish. S to start. Here we go. Such rubbish music. Here we go. So rubbish. And it's brilliant. There we go. Kick them off the stage and they just fall off. Just rigidly. One kick to the happy sack and that's it. They're off. Falling like a man being kicked in the happy sack. There's a man with a knife. And are dead. Energy gone. It's awful, but it's brilliant. It's my kind of brilliant. I like it anyway. I don't care. Let's go for it. Oh, look at that jump. Oh, you know it's good when we can jump like that. And kick him in the face with a jump. It's a flying kick. Get off me. Stop zapping my energy. Punch you in the chest. You're getting punched in the chest. Nobody's getting punched in the chest. I'm going to die here because I can't get away from them all. Go! Go! Ignore the guys in front of me. Just keep jumping, or behind me. Keep jumping to get to the end of the level. That's it. I'm down again, just flattened to the ground. Just turned into an instantaneously, solidly pre-morgue's corpse as I landed on the ground there. Just smashed into the ground. Not a problem. Let's just get ourselves moving here. Let's smack. Smack. Oh, wow. Now, we're literally getting a knife dude early on to save time. The game has just decided that I deserve a knife dude early on. Go, go, go. Floor one. And to his face. The foot came swiftly into his exposed face. His facial cavity. Come on. Let's try and get to the end of the level. Oh, get to the end of the level. Kick him. Kick him. Kick him. It's the timing just to be so perfect. And as the screen scrolls, you're stuffed, and there I go, died again, fall to the floor, like I did, and it's all over, bar the screaming, and we were screaming. You were screaming, please let the agony end, and with that, the agony has ended. I've been your host, Real Genetic Demon. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye now.